to welcome the award-winning author of the book, The American Plague, Jim Murphy.
Good, how are you?
Fine. So, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your book.
Sure.
First off, what is the central idea discussed in the book, or what is it about?
The central idea discussed in the book is the yellow fever plague that struck Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1793. Yellow fever, or American plague as it was known at the time, is a disease that is transferred by mosquitoes. It begins with fever and muscle pain. Next, victims often become a shade of yellow, hence the term yellow fever, as their livers and kidneys cease to function normally. If it is not treated, the victim can die. This plague infected Philadelphia, killing 5,000 citizens. It caused many of the citizens to flee out of the city. A lot of shops and businesses shut down. Although numerous people died, countless were saved by the many procedures to get rid of the disease. On page 63, it says, "I now save 29 out of 30 of all whom I am called on the first day of their illnesses." This means that the doctor's treatments really helped victims get rid of their disease. There were also many people who were leaders during the plague and helped the city get rid of it, like Benjamin Rush, Matthew Clarkson, and many more. Finally, the winter coldness struck the disease down, freeing the city of it. The book talks about how it emerged, what things, vitamins, and techniques they used to get rid of it, and what they did after the plague. It also discusses the many people that were affected by the disease and their role in the time period.
Nice. Tell me about one specific passage that struck you as significant, or interesting, profound, amusing, illuminating, disturbing, sad, and what was memorable?
One specific passage from the book struck me as disturbing. It talked about what the town was looking like in the middle of the plague. The disease was still infecting the city, and many were trying to leave. Everyone that couldn't leave was sick or dead. All the buildings and businesses were also closed. On page 47, it says, "People were still streaming from the city in droves. Houses, businesses, and shops were closed, and the sick, dying, and dead were everywhere to be seen." I find this disturbing because it creates a picture in my mind. It makes me imagine how awful it must have been. Everyone leaving, everything is closed, and there's dead people everywhere.
Yeah, that's pretty awful. What did you want people to learn from the book? And how did your information in the book impact the future? Are there long-term or short-term consequences to the issues raised in the book? Are they positive or negative, affirming or frightening?
I wanted people to learn, obviously, about the plague, but most importantly, how the city reacted to it and the feelings in the middle of it. At first, the city panicked and didn't know what to do. However, when the city was at its low, there were a few citizens who stepped up as leaders and eventually conquered the disease. The information in the book can impact the future by having us know more about the plague. We now know what can cause it and how to get rid of it, so we can avoid these problems by understanding the past. There's a positive and affirming future.
Thanks. Okay, so what conclusions did you draw, or what solutions did you propose to any issues that were discussed?
There were many different solutions that I proposed. One solution was bloodletting, which the doctor would make a small cut on your arm and let you bleed. This would give more room for the other blood to move around and more freely. Benjamin Rush invented a version of the 10 and 10 method, which is called the 10 and 15 method. This was 10 grains of mercury and 15 grains of jalap. This would make the patient vomit and have diarrhea, which would get most of the disease content in their body out. Many officials thought to clean up all the streets and alleyways to get rid of the disease. On page 17, it says, he, which Mayor Clarkson, ordered laborers hired by the city, called scavengers, to clean the streets of decaying garbage and dead animals, since their vile smell might be causing the disease. This means that the mayor and others thought that cleaning the streets would take away the plague. Many thought that the rain would kill the disease, but it only slowed it down. The winter, however, killed off all the mosquitoes, killing the disease.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so do these issues affect your life? How so? Directly, on a daily basis, or more generally? Now or sometime in the future? Why or why not? If not, whose life might these issues affect?
No, these issues do not affect my life. I did not live in that time period, and if we did have the yellow fever plague invade, our time period has the technology to take care of it, hopefully before it takes anyone's lives. These issues may affect the president's life. He needs to follow what caused the plague and how they got rid of it so that the decisions he makes do not cause the disease again.
Well, folks, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.